Oral and Karizev, something you don't see very often, which is a shame because it's a really strong commander. It just hits at a lot of different angles, you know. It can be an aggro build, it could be more of a control build, just a value build. But yeah, it does a lot of stuff for 3 mana, I have to say. Let's see if the Magda can come and play here. Okay, so it's at least a counter build. Sure. Glorious Gale. Counter creature spell if it's a legendary spell. During tempts you. So this is strictly better than Essence Scatter. Okay. Well. Cathartic Reunion. Discarding a Glambring. Why would you discard that? That's really good, isn't it, in this kind of deck? It must have something better than a Glambring. Oh my goodness. And a Jingataxius. What the hell's in their hand? They must have an incredible hand. If they got rid of 2 of the strongest cards. Okay. Let's go for Showdown here. I want to get that out before they get a chance to, like, counter it. Swords to Plowshares is pretty sweet. Definitely going to use that here. They've already invested a counter on this, so they want it to stick around, and removing it is going to be important. Being able to cast a Hilda and the Flowering of the White Tree next turn hopefully will ensure our spot iteration. That's not something I expected to see in this deck and this late. I was thinking they were going to kill the Professional Facebreaker, but... And I say late because the game normally ends by turn 6 or 7, which is just how brutal the format is. If you've never played this format before, then understand the lethality of it. It is very, very competitive. It's not the casual format that it was intended to be, sadly. This format has been hijacked by sweaty players, unfortunately, and my channel over the past 2 and a bit years has had to adapt to that because I can't just make meme decks anymore because I just won't survive. Just will not be able to survive. Flowering. Let's spread the love a bit. Okay. A 5/4. Wow, the Flowering of the White Tree there. Giving stuff +2/+1. Crazy. Legends get +2/+1. That's a lot of output for 2 mana, you know? There's a lot. And I'm thinking we leave the treasure because we only have 1 red source. And if we get a card... well, for a start, Aurelia is 2 red. If they don't do anything here... If they just like play some support cards, I think we could kill them. Because this is 5, or that's 9. Play any spell but I count 10. And that's without Aurelia. So if we get Aurelia out, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13 because of the showdown counter. And that's 26 damage. So they need to do something here. And if they don't hit these creatures, they'll need to counter Aurelia. So they're in a very precarious position. Not to mention that the Flowering gives Aurelia +2. This is a fantastic card. If you craft this deck, then I recommend Flowering. Galvanic Iteration. So is it going to be a board wipe? Brotherhood's End, perhaps? Whatever they cast next will be copied. Gandalf's Sanction, copied. 6 damage. This has got ward. Okay, they take care of both of our creatures. Sure thing, so they had the answer. They had it. Sadly, the showdown won't really put any counters on anything now. So do we just spend this turn doing some recovery? Yeah, let's do some recovery. So we'll get back the Hilda again. Oh, they're going to love dealing with this, aren't they? And then we could use the Kayla's commands. Yeah, let's do that because we get a counter on something else as well. Counter, double strike. And let's create an army. So we've got 3 dudes. And put a counter on here. And then we'll put a counter on here. Ludicrous. So now they need a board wipe again. Bear in mind, this does have flashback. So they can potentially kill a couple of things again. Obviously, worst case scenario was Rebuke. But that's always the worst case scenario. So I might have to stop saying that, to be honest. It's like saying worst case scenario in real life, nuclear bomb. We all know that. Chandra. X to jump up to 2 creatures. So they can't kill Rahilda because they have no mana open if they go for the minus.
Fire doesn't need a plan.
And here's the catch-22. If they kill the specialist and there's 4/4, it means Rahilda can now attack. Because she was unable to attack as long as the specialist was on the field. Okay, so she's at 1. I think we have to go for Aurelia here, don't we? And go for the Ganjo. And we shall equip to Aurelia. So we're going to gain 10 life here. Pretty wacky. Oh, that's... How much is that? 10, 20. So it'll be 2 off. But, yeah, I was going to give a Chandra just to take her down. But yeah, that was clearly enough. If you are liking this video, why don't you leave me a like and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. If you would like to get custom videos, why not check out my donation tiers in the description box. You can join YouTube membership, you can join Ko-fi, or even Patreon. Just take a look, and it really helps the channel. So, on to the next video. So, our starting hand is pretty bad. Okay, so we've got the 1 ring, but it makes me wonder if we're actually going to get to keep that. We shall see. No red source yet, so these 2 are dead cards for now. Mind Stone. If we had a red source, I'd love to braid that. Okay, we'll just see what else they go for. We might go for the Apparition in the following turn. Key to the Archive, so we're definitely going to exile that here. So I'll let them choose what they want to do. That is ridiculously fast ramp. Actually, I'm tempted to maybe Skyclave Apparition it because they can still cast it again with the partition. Red source. No, we need to go for the Apparition here. Take them off their 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th mana they would have had there. Kind of absurd. They still have 5, of course, which is a hell of a lot. The Shuffler is a bit cruel, giving us only planes when the opponent has 4 different lands. Animal Visionary, so yet more ramp. Okay, and a Battlefield Forge. So 4, 5, 6. So we don't kill the ramp here. They're going to be able to cast the Attraxa. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we have to just get rid. And I guess we could slow them down even more by trying to get rid of this. Choice is theirs. They can sack it here to draw a card, or they can recast it again for 2 more. Okay. They're going to opt for the double-costed Mind Stone. Issue is, whilst we're doing this, they're just biding their time. So, wow. They're just going to recast that. Play a land, perhaps. Okay. So this is a good time to get the 1 ring out. And start drawing some cards, because we're going to need something to combat their Attraxa next turn. Although they have 4 cards in hand already. And we desperately need a removal spell. 5, 6. Tap land, interesting. So we're going to not see the Attraxa here, I presume. They're going to get a Demonic Tutor, though, which is always terrifying. So they got this from the Key to the Archive, of course, because this is an actual illegal card. I always find that weird. How you can put technically illegal cards in the format by drafting them from spellbooks. Alchemy is incredibly controversial. Demonic Tutor in this format. Brutal. So they might be trying to find a way to exile the One Ring here. Looking through their entire library for an answer. Okay. So... Vendilion Clique. So they're going to get to look in our hand. Choose a card. And then put it on the bottom. I mean, sure. I'm really not that bothered. They should have done it in after the One Ring resolved. This for the second time. I don't think them doing this here actually really does much. It feels a little bit... I don't know. So they're not going to put any to the bottom. So why bother doing it at all then? This is the kind of card you use when you know your opponent has a combo, but we're a white-red deck, so... Fire and Ice, nice. So we get protection from red and blue. We could go for Aurelia here, but... Let's just see if we can get this out. They're probably going to block. Oh, protection from red and blue, isn't it? Of course, they can't block. Okay, so we're doing pretty well so far. But if they have something like Casualties of War, they could get rid of creature, artifact, land. Because it doesn't have protection from green and black. But if they do that just to kill a land and a creature and an artifact, I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad, but I don't know. We can try and rebuild. Let's see what they get. We have a lot of card advantage ourselves. We have the One Ring. We have the Soul of Fire and Ice. It's not looking too bad. Especially with double combats. This can technically deal 12 damage, so 4 plus the 2 from the sword. So this is 12 if this gets double combats with the Aurelia. Wow, that was probably one of the weakest Attraxa triggers I've seen. Maybe we just go in for the swing. Although they're going to gain 7 on the swing back, aren't they? Let's draw some cards here. We desperately need some answers. Okay, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, we'll go for the Warhound to ramp a bit. Because we want to have a huge force before we go for the Aurelia, really, don't we? We don't just want to go for the Aurelia into there. Saying that, we have Kayla's Command. Is that enough here? Let's just have a think about this. Counter double strike. Just going to gain 2. Interesting. Wow, okay, another sword. Right, let's see how this goes on. They can flicker the Attraxa all they want, but this is going to be 5, 10, 14 if this gets through with all the triggers. And they can't block, so the Essence Flux is not going to do much. They can kill it if they have something which... Oh, wow. Kayla's Command, awesome. So we'll deal 2 to them. They're probably not very happy about this, but... 5, and then 2 more to them. So we can kill them as long as we can resolve the Lightning Helix. And let's see if we can. Three damage. Do they have anything? Well done, Essence Flux. So the only way they can actually get around us here is if they get a Pact of Negation. Because it's going to have to be a 0 mana spell. And they do not have a Pact. We take care of an Attraxa build. Feels pretty damn good. Okay, we go first against Aurelia. It's just removal central. This feels kind of mean, right? We just have removal. Okay, so we probably want to optimize on this board wipe the most. So we'll try as much as possible to not use any of the other kill spells until they get at least 2 creatures out, I'd say. Mox Amber with no legends. Okay. Sure thing. So this is not the conventional hand I would choose to keep, but it's a creature-based deck, so we'll see. They probably have the same, right? They probably have loads of removal too, considering it's Mardu. They're just like our deck, but with extra black. So, come on, let's get some kind of advantage. I'll take a land drop. They're missing white source. There we go. Seraph of the Scales, Afterlife 2. So we're going to want to exile that with a Decking Stone, I think. Or just swords it. Yeah, we'll swords it. Because when you kill this, it creates 2 spirits, but exiling it just gets rid of it permanently, right? Let's just do that. Fine. They're not going to play any more creatures anytime soon. Let's just go for something. Sorry, when I mean they're not going to play any more creatures, obviously they are, but I just feel like we're not going to progress the board just by holding up mana for Wrath of God. I'd like to progress with some kind of pressure. Playing a legend gives us a treasure token. Interesting. What are they waiting for? Maybe they have their own board wipe. Maybe this is the touche moment that they're going to be able to say to me later on. But the board wipe will only kill the Boromir because we can sack him to protect the rest of our team. So actually, this has kind of worked out quite well, because if they do go for a couple of creatures next turn, we can sack the Boromir. Okay, so they have the kill spell here. So we might as well activate him. Sure. Yeah, that's a shame. So we can't do our board wipe Boromir sack move, which I enjoy doing. Linvala. We can't activate activated abilities. Sure. We can do triggered abilities, though. Interesting game here. I think we're both... I felt like we're both removal heavy, but... Ah, there we go. So they did have wipes. So they had exactly the same plan as we did. Sure thing. Sure. So I think we're just going to wait a bit now. I don't want to use my single target removal on the Linvala. It's not pressuring us. If they get something else out, then we'll go for the Wrath. We've got 2 board wipes. We need to start using them. Yeah, they've killed 3 of our creatures already, so Goldspan Dragon, we're gonna definitely want to board wipe in the next turn. That is 7 damage though. Jeez. Down to 18. They certainly know how to get you when it's yeah, we'll go for Day of Judgment here. Unless they can protect their team. Maybe they have a way to protect one of them. Nope, okay. Sadly, we couldn't have gone for the Low Warhound as well. I don't think I would have, even if I did have an additional land, because I'd lose a treasure to gain a land. So they have a lot of death triggers, I've noticed. Death trigger, death trigger. So yeah, let's just exile this. Try and reduce any value they could get. It's important. You need to get the edge. So currently, they've missed out on 2 spirits and 3 treasures or 2 cards. So Yeah. And now we have the Warhound out. This is going to be useful because we have the sword on the field, right? But there's no... I don't think we equip it yet because I just don't like the idea of using this treasure here. Unless it would be for something useful, like one of these in Desperation. The Kalia only gets them one card, which feels quite tiny compared to what Attraxa can do. Obviously, she costs under half that of an Attraxa. Oh no, she can reveal an Angel, Demon, and or Dragon. Okay, okay, up to 3. Let's see how many they get then. In top 6, what are the odds of that? 0, apparently. Yeah, let's try and equip the sword. Do they have removal? Protection from red and green. So they can't block here. It's likely they have a kill spell, though. See what we get. A couple of lands would be good. They're choosing at the latest possible moment to use any spells. Heartless Act. That's a shame. I guess we'll go for the Skyclave then. Don't seem too happy about that, do they? Pausing. I'm sure everyone knows Skyclave Apparition by now. Especially people playing the decks that I'm facing. It's unlikely for me to face a noob. I don't remember the last time I faced a noob. Every player I face in Arena these days is incredibly skilled and or have powerful decks. Wow, okay. Just literally just removal spell after removal spell. So I said that, and the player literally put the commander in the exile zone. So I retract my previous statement saying that every player is experienced. There is currently no way to get this back now. So they've just shot themselves in the foot. I am very confused, to be honest. Why would they not send to command zone? Well, I shouldn't complain. It gives me a bit of an edge. When I say a bit of an edge, I mean a humongous edge here. How much do you want to bet that their last card is another kill spell? And also, strangely, every single kill spell they've used is a 2-mana one. An instant. 3 of them in the top, I don't know what, 15 cards? Crazy. What other creatures have they got here? We've already killed some crazy powerful cards. Verix and Kicked, of course. So they get another 4/4 as well. Looks like our board wipes are starting to run a bit dry, aren't they? Damn, that was lucky. Like, we've used 2 wipes and then they played something that made 2 4/4s. Wowzers. Okay. And they're passing the turn? Oh, it's frustrating. Okay, goes to our turn. Wow. Right, see if we can keep an Aurelia on the field for more than 30 seconds here. So, pass to them. She has Vigilance, so if we get any of these... If we get this sword on, Protection from Red and Green, it's looking pretty good. Varagoth. Hold Still Heart. And what's the last card? I kind of want to just see what it is. Interesting. Right, I think we're in absolutely mighty fine shape if we can get an attack in here. Wow. That would have been very satisfying. 10 flying, exile the top 4, play an additional 2 lands. Awesome. But yeah, sadly the opponent there was undone, I think, by not being able to cast this. It was an interesting quit though, because surely they would have had something else in the deck to deal with this sword, right? If they only quit because this sword was the issue, then maybe the deck needs more artifact removal, perhaps, or non-land permanent removal. Hello and welcome to today's video featuring Aurelia, the Warleader. She is a 6-mana flying vigilance haste 3/4, and whenever she attacks for the first time each turn, untap all creatures you control, and after this phase there's an additional combat phase. So the way you want to build the deck is to have lots of ways to increase power so you can finish your opponent off faster. And the way I've decided to do that in this deck is to use all the swords available in Arena. So we've got Body and Mind, Fire and Ice, Forge and Frontier, and Once and Future. They all do various interesting different things, but the best thing you can do in the deck is not just equip it on Aurelia, but put it on something which has double strike. So we have Twin Blade Geist, we have Core Blade Master, Jawbone Duelist, and the Illuminator Virtuoso. So these are all wonderful because if you give them the sword or any of the swords, they're going to trigger twice, and that's the main deal we're going to go for. So we've got double strike and double combat. Now, combined together, that's going to be, it's going to feel like quadruple damage. So that's why the curve is pretty low, because we want to get out creatures as soon as possible and then immediately try and equip them with swords not long after. That's why the deck doesn't have any 5 or 6 drops, because you want to be aggressive as possible, and Aurelia wants to really be the last spell you cast. So be sparing as you can. Sometimes she'll be the only thing you can do, but try and save her. Your opponent will be expecting her because she has haste, to be warned. But we do have a few ways to protect her if necessary with the Selfless Savior, which can give Aurelia indestructible. We also have Boromir to give your team indestructible as well. So cards like that are going to be really useful to just keep her protected. And yeah, it's just a pretty interesting deck because although it's aggressive, she's 6 mana, which is a lot. If she dies, you could struggle. 6 mana is a hell of a lot on 1v1, so just keep that in mind. As long as you put enough creatures with a double strike, like Swift Blade, Vindicator, and all sorts of little creatures to, to chip damage, like Ragavan, for instance, you should be golden. If you want to see the deck list, look in the description below. It will give you all the details. And also, if you'd be so kind to donate to the channel, there's 3 different ways. You can become a YouTube channel member, you can donate via Ko-fi, any amount, or you can also donate via the Patreon link below. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.